You may already know about the Cadillac LYRIQ, the brand's first and currently sole dedicated EV. Since its debut 2 years ago, it's been a pretty slow roll meeting the rest of the EVs GM has planned for this brand. We now know about the ultra-exclusive Celestiq sedan, the opulent and massive Escalade IQ, or Escaladic, whichever you prefer, and the bite-sized Optic, none of which are on sale yet. But what about a mid-sized 3-row offering to compete with the new Kia EV9, the upcoming Lucid Gravity, the Rivian R1S, and the Volkswagen ID Buzz, just to name a few? That's where the VISTIQ steps in. We don't really know much about this car at the time of this filming, but judging on the 2 photos Cadillac has released so far, we can deduce that this will be an electric replacement for the mid-size 3-row XT6. Didn't forget about that one, did ya? And one of the only concrete things Cadillac has actually said about the VISTIQ is that it is in fact a 3-row model. And with Cadillac's existing EVs bringing the brand to new heights in terms of technology and luxurious appointments on their interiors, it's probably best to compare the VISTIQ to the nicest EVs available today. The Tesla Model X, though the longest running 3-row EV nameplate in the world, doesn't have an interior that comes close to the Rivian R1S or the upcoming Lucid Gravity for that matter, so I wouldn't put it in the same category as the VISTIQ, judging what we know about the Escalade IQ and the LYRIQ's interiors, which are very, very nice. If we're looking at luxury to luxury, the best competitors to the VISTIQ will probably be that Rivian R1S, the Lucid Gravity, and maybe even the Mercedes-Benz EQE or EQS SUVs, though the EQS SUV is definitely going to be more expensive than the VISTIQ. We don't know pricing, but we can bet that it's going to be in the $70,000 to $80,000 range at the start, which is right around what Lucid is promising for the Gravity. Now, in terms of how the VISTIQ will stack up as an EV on paper, we'll have to look for inspiration from the existing LYRIQ, because that model is likely just the 2-row smaller version of what this VISTIQ is supposed to be, so you can expect the same battery, probably the same outputs, all of that stuff is probably going to be mirrored over on the VISTIQ. So what does that mean? Well, it wouldn't be a General Motors EV without the Ultium battery platform, and the battery in the LYRIQ is a 102 kilowatt-hour unit. If you get rear-wheel drive, which is a single motor of course, that gets you about 340 horsepower. The dual-motor all-wheel drive LYRIQ gives you about 500, which is plenty for even a 3-row SUV, but if Cadillac decides to give us both rear and all-wheel drive, that rear motor setup with 340 horsepower should be plenty for around-town driving as well. The battery in the LYRIQ can do DC fast charging speeds of up to 190 kilowatts, which is certainly not going to scare off the Kia EV9 or the Lucid, or even the upcoming Hyundai Ioniq 7, which I haven't mentioned yet because we haven't seen the full reveal of that model yet. Just look at the EV9 in Hyundai clothes. Those will theoretically peak at over 300 kilowatts, so this isn't really that close of a competitor there, but when it comes to at-home AC charging on level 1 and level 2, the Cadillac should be pretty darn impressive, because on the LYRIQ, you can equip it with a 19.2 kilowatt onboard AC charger. That allows you to put 51 miles back in the battery every hour you charge at home. And you don't find 19.2 kilowatt AC chargers just anywhere. How about range? Well, the LYRIQ can do as well as 314 miles if you get the single motor rear-wheel drive. While it would be nice to have over 300 miles in the VISTIQ is a larger vehicle with a 3rd row and will likely weigh a good bit more than the LYRIQ, which already doesn't really categorize as a lightweight, but overall, I would say shoot for the 300, like actual 300 mark as the maximum amount of range for the VISTIQ. We of course just don't know yet, but that's what I would put my money on. The only other concrete information we have at the time of this filming is that the full Monty of details on the VISTIQ will be available sometime next year. With that, I leave you to go reacquaint yourself with the Cadillac XT6 while we all wait for all the juicy details on the 2025 VISTIQ.